Good morning. This is Lou of Meraki Pharmacy. It is Tuesday, December 27th, 10:05 a.m. Thanks for being here. This is the first video of what I plan on being probably bi-weekly videos that correspond with blog posts at MerakiPharmacy.com, where you can read more, go into more depth into the things that I am talking about. Today we're going to just introduce myself and the Meraki Pharmacy, some of the big ideas, philosophies, intentions, and motivations of what I'm doing. If you are new to me, hi, I'm Lou. I am the Chief Dream Officer of Meraki Pharmacy. Meraki is a Greek word that means the love, passion, creativity, and soul that one puts into their work. And pharmacy, I spell with an F, for what I think are obvious reasons, being that food is medicine, plants are medicine, our natural world is full of medicine that we all need, regardless of where we live, what stage in life we are, what our health problems are or aren't. We all can benefit from having a consistent, deep relationship with plants in all their beautiful forms. Specifically, what I do at Meraki Pharmacy is I grow plants, organically, of course, which just means I don't use chemicals. I don't use pesticides, insecticides, fungicides. I don't use any of those methods to combat disease. I instead use other methods like companion planting, intercropping, crop rotation, good old-fashioned spending lots of time out there and picking off bugs, creating habitat for beneficial predatory insects, and also bringing in birds and pollinators. And it works. We have been doing these things for thousands of years. We're going to talk more about those kinds of things. Not right now, though. I grow medicinal plants and I grow food crops. And I sometimes just grow plants because they're beautiful and fun to look at. We're in Zone 5B. We're in southeastern Vermont. So we have a short growing season. It's about 100 days. We do have a small hoop house to extend the season at the beginning and the end, which is really great. And I love it. I really, really, really love what I do. It's my work. It's my service. My coworkers and comrades are soil microbes and water and sun and carbon dioxide and pollinators and birds and sometimes some creepy crawly insects and spiders and just all these wonderful life forms that deserve a safe little place on our property that we belong to. It's not ours. We belong to the land. When I grow those medicinal plants and flowers, which are comfrey, calendula, lemon balm, mint, yarrow, hyssop, and some others, I take those plants, I take their flowers or their leaves or their stems or their roots, or sometimes all those parts, and I infuse them into water or into oil, which really just means I take a certain amount of either fresh or dried plant material, I put it in a jar, and I cover it with water or I cover it with oil. And it sits in the sun, it sits under the moon, sometimes it gets boiled and it steeps, and all of those biochemical constituents in the plants, so these really great chemicals that are good chemicals, that these medicinal properties from the plant material leaches out basically and is then in the oil or it's in the water. And then that water, that oil, or both gets used to make healing salves or soaps. That's pretty much what I do. The physical logistics end, that's what I'm doing. But there's a lot of other things that Meraki Pharmacy does. I want to get into a little bit of that. It has been my intent to make that really clear. Those other things, the bigger picture things, the philosophical things, the social activist things. And I'm getting a sense that I maybe can communicate that louder, more clear. So that's my goal right now. It's really fun to grow plants, and plants are amazing, and they have so much to offer us, and they give it all these things to us so generously. Besides the oxygen that we're breathing, they give us lots of other things that don't just heal our physical form, doesn't just heal our skin. We can drink them, we can eat them, and they will heal every single part of us. The other part of that healing medicinal magic from plants, I think there's a really clear relationship between what it does for our bodies and what it does for our emotions and our spiritual well-being. So I try to do all of that. So when you buy or use a Meraki soap that contains something that soothes wounds, boo-boos, cuts, minor skin irritations, and also soothes those wounds that we don't necessarily see, that aren't necessarily on the outside of our body. I'm really thinking of comfrey right now. Comfrey is the master of all healers. It is a really pretty plant, and it has these wide green leaves and these really beautiful, delicate pink or purple flowers. Bees really love comfrey. Comfrey I make this joke that you could crack your head open and shove a bunch of comfrey leaves in there and be totally okay. Of course, I'm not serious. If you crack your head open, go to the emergency room. Don't just shove plants in there. One of the things that you have to be careful with comfrey is it regenerates cell growth. Cell proliferation is really high with comfrey. So when you're applying it to a deep wound, you really have to make sure that that wound is super cleaned out, or it will close up so quickly. Your skin will heal and regrow and heal so quickly that anything in that wound may get trapped in there. Just a precaution. My point being, comfrey is the master of all healers. I'll put it on a boo-boo, I'll put it on a skin irritation, but I'll also drink it, and I will ask it to heal those other wounds that are deep in my heart, that come from the past with people and events and experiences that were really painful and traumatic. And comfrey does that also, which is amazing, and it's just amazing, right? I mean, what else can I say? Just let that sink in for a little bit. And all the plants and all the trees can do this for us. They want to do it for us. That's truth. That's scientific fact. They want to help us. They're very generous. They're very loving. And all they ask for in return is acknowledgement, gratitude, and I think, especially in our modern world, some advocation and protection. Making sure that they can grow wild, they are not harvested to a point of no return, that they are not fed poisons and chemicals, they are just given what all living things need and deserve and have a right to in order to be happy, healthy, growing life forms. So when I make a comfrey salve or a comfrey soap, my intention isn't just to heal your physical wounds. It is to introduce you to this plant that is comfrey, or whatever plant it is, and introduce you guys so you can form your own relationship, because your experience with comfrey is going to be different than mine. And comfrey is everywhere, pretty much. And you can grow it, you can find it wild. It is a beautiful friend that we all should know and honor and recognize and benefit from. So when I make all these plant soaps, the goal is to remind you that you are a part of nature, and that nature is a part of you. No matter where you live, even if you're not the outdoorsy type, even if you're looking at that pile of wood, like, what are you doing with that pile of wood? We burn it to stay warm. I know you know that. Regardless, if you're a nature lover or not, nature loves you. And it does nurture you. You don't have to grow all these plants. There's plenty of us doing it for you, and we're happy to. If you want to grow plants, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Even if it's just one tomato plant in a container on your porch. That is awesome. And those tomatoes are going to be the tastiest, most nutritious, amazing tomatoes you will ever have in your life. Because that's your plant. You're that plant. You guys are buddies. It's a very beautiful relationship. The other things that I really hope and I believe that I am accomplishing with Meraki Pharmacy and using these plants to make these really nourishing, delicious, healthy, healing self-care essentials are reminding you of how sacred your body is. And how, unfortunately, we live in a world where we mass produce things that are actually pretty harmful and that contain ingredients that cause more harm than they do provide any benefit. There are parabens, which disrupt your hormones. There are synthetic chemicals and harsh detergents in your soaps that dry out your skin, that strip your skin of its natural oils, that will irritate your skin. If you're using something that irritates any part of you, you shouldn't use it. If you can't eat it, you shouldn't put it on your body. The reason for this is because everything that touches your skin, everything that you put on your skin is absorbed into your body and is metabolized by your organs. Everything you put on your skin is absorbed into you and used by your body. I don't know if enough of us realize that. I have to stop and remind myself of that and think about it. Sorry, there's a funny sound coming from the other end of the porch. I'm not saying that everyone who makes mass-produced self-care and beauty products wants you to die. That would be probably a bad business practice, right, if you killed your customers. But the truth is that we are slowly killing ourselves with the consumption of these things. We're harming our water, our soil, our air, our economies, our ecosystems, our families. We're hurting ourselves when we use these things. We are putting toxins onto our skin and into our bodies. And I think we think about these things a lot when we think about food, right? Because that's obvious. I'm hoping to draw more attention and advocate for the ways that we think about how we use the other things that our body still is exposed to. Soaps, deodorants, lotions, all the myriad of self-care and beauty products that you use at least once a day for your entire life. And so even if it's really, 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 really tiny amounts of bad stuff, you're using it in 10 different products every day. You can go to the website and read a little bit about bioaccumulation and do your own research. But think about it. Little, tiny, tiny amounts all the time, every day, for a long amount of time, is certainly going to erode your health. And we know this. We know this because we're seeing it. We're seeing it in mental health, dis-ease. We are seeing it in physical health, dis-ease. We're seeing it in infertility, even Parkinson's, depression, learning disabilities. All of these things, they're not caused by one factor. But the toxins and the nasties and the harsh chemicals that we find in our self-care products are helping to create that disease. And that's crazy. That's totally crazy. Why are we doing this? Meraki Pharmacy hopes that you realize how powerful you are and that every single consumer choice that you make changes your life and the life for others, right? Because if we can't appeal to the makers of things that are using really bad stuff, we can't appeal to their hearts, right? Because they're kind of obsessed with money and efficiency and bottom lines and whatever. We can appeal to them purely economically. If you are spending your hard-earned money on things that truly, deeply, honestly, purely nourish you, and you don't spend your hard-earned money on crap, people will stop making so much crap. It may take a while. It may not be the most preferred method, right? I prefer if people just made good quality stuff because it's the right thing to do. Fortunately, that's not the world we live in right now. But we are creating that world. We are. You are. I am. We are. Without a doubt. Say no to that shit. Feed your skin things that you would feed your belly. Kind of a cool idea. Not as hard as it seems. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to chuck everything out. You don't have to stop wearing makeup. I dye my hair. Fun colors. It's green. I still have fun. I still wear makeup. I still express myself that way. There's nothing wrong with doing those things. There is something wrong with mindlessly consuming toxic chemicals and supporting the people that think it's okay to do it. The other side, the other part of this also is a lot of our self-care and beauty products are predominantly marketed towards women, right? And some of the messages behind that are that we are inadequate, that we are just a body to be enjoyed, we're just something nice to look at. We are sex. We're just our body, and that your body and your face and your hair is inadequate. It's not pretty enough. It's not this enough. It's not that enough. That is all bullshit. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your body. Your body is sacred, and it is yours, and it is beautiful, and it is sacred. You are sacred territory. You want to wear makeup? That's totally cool. Don't put poisons on you, and don't listen to advertisers that are telling you that it is unladylike to sweat or that your eyebrows need to... No. That is patriarchal capitalist bullshit. Don't listen to that. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't take the cheap stuff filled with things that you can't pronounce and you certainly wouldn't eat. Treat yourself like the sacred territory that you are. I know it costs a little bit more money for the good stuff, but think about what you're paying for. You are worth it. And when you tell yourself, I am worth this, I am not worth an increased chance of breast cancer, of course you would say that to yourself, right? Yes, and you need to, because unfortunately there's a lot of companies and politicians and all these other people that are not saying it for you. They're saying the opposite. They're saying you're disposable. You're just a consumer. You're not. You are so much more than just a consumer. And you're more than a pretty face. I like the pretty face, but you're more than that. And when we say no to these advertisers, when we say no to these businesses, we are saying yes to ourselves, to our plant friends, to the water, to the air, to the things that we all rely on for life. Meraki Pharmacy also thinks that when we start saying no to toxicity in our food and in our self-care products, we start to say no to the toxic shit that we hear from the media and from people who have really, really damaging, violent thought patterns like racism and sexism and homophobia and Islamophobia and all of that. All of those things that are totally unacceptable and have no place in the world we are creating. It gets a little bit easier to say no to that when you know you are sacred territory, when you know you're more than a consumer, when you know that you have all this power and you can make all of these decisions every day that benefit you and your family and the world. When you reclaim that, it snowballs. It ripples out. The next thing you know, you're this full-on peaceful warrior activist, and it doesn't take that much effort. Because really all you're doing is saying, I am good enough, I deserve good stuff, I want to be a healthy, happy, safe, loving critter, organism, human being, woman, man, child, whatever you are. By saying that and stepping into that, you change the world around you. And all the ways that we think it's so hard, it's too expensive, it all becomes so much easier. It becomes natural. It becomes daily habit. And when you heal yourself and you're a happy, healthy individual, you are saving the world. You're leading by example. You're taking personal responsibility for you and your life and your health. And I can't really think of anything that is more revolutionary and powerful than that. All of this because I grew some plants and started to make soap and deodorant and toothpaste and healing salts. It is my goal to make these messages very loud and very clear and very accessible. My goals are also to educate you about plants, the different medicines that they have, their personalities, how to grow them, where to find them, maybe even provide seeds for you, maybe in the future. My goals are to connect us by talking about these things and fighting against against violence and aggression in all its forms. Even if it's packaged in a really, really sweet smelling soap, it can still be quite violent against your body, can it? Yes. Yes. My name is Lou, and I am the Chief Dream Officer of Meraki Pharmacy, and I invite you to join me, connect with me, talk with me, share with me what you're doing. What are your experiences? What do you need? What do you want? What are your thoughts? Please visit me at MerakiPharmacy.com, MERAKIFARMACY.com. On Instagram and Facebook, we talk about these things and more, get to know each other, and rehumanize our economies and smash some patriarchal crap. That's what we're doing. I'd love to have you. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you at the pharmacy. Stay tuned for more episodes where we will get into more details about these issues, these things, our plants friends, how to connect with them, and deepen our relationships with our bodies, with each other, and co-create the world that we really need. It's going to be great. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Peace.